What is up, Fish Nation? IndyCar Tim here with the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz. Wanted to get into a little bit of Trevon Diggs talk for you guys. Clearly, Trevon Diggs is having the season of his young career, the season of his life. We hope not necessarily, of course. 7 picks on the young season. And yes, I still call it young. We're not quite to the halfway point. Well, maybe we are. 8.5 games, I guess, would be your halfway point, and all right, we'll call it the halfway point. But Trevon Diggs clearly surpassing, I think, what we thought we were going to see out of him this season, at least what I thought we would see. And I thought he would be good. Don't get me wrong, I thought he would be good for sure, but I think what we're seeing now is a little bit above good. You know, on a still, even though he didn't have a pick against the Vikings, he's on that pick a game pace still because of the 2-1 game. So, of course, that's not going to continue. Still on pace to hit the Cowboys' single-season interceptions record of 11 by Everson Walls in 1981. The NFL record is still within reach of 14 by Dick Night Train Lane in 1952 for the Rams. But I'm hearing a lot of clatter there on social media about Diggs and his playing style, and you know, even with the results that he gets, does he give up too much? We see him getting burned. Sometimes we see his guy wide open sometimes, and I'll tell you, it's kind of hard to judge other than just from what you see and from the results. And I would say based on the results with his interception totals, and if you look at his passes defended, the amount of times he's been thrown to per game, I don't see how you can be dissatisfied with what he's done for the Cowboys this season at all. I don't see how you could. But really, all we're using as laymen here is the eyeball test, right? So unless you're one of these guys that subscribes to that all 22 thing, and you really dig into the tapes and you dig into each play and you're looking at what's happening, it can be a tough evaluation for Diggs. Again, he gives up a lot of yards. Call him a gambler on the field. He's kind of a gambler. And we know that teams speak of efficiency, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You don't like Trevon Diggs or any cornerback to give up a bunch of yards. Now, it's okay for an entire defensive scheme to be a bend, don't break, but you don't like to see that from individual players, especially at the corner position, where sometimes you don't have help. You're out there left on an island sometimes. But I'll tell you, from what I've seen, a lot of Trevon Diggs' success comes from the fact that he is a gambler. It's because he's a gambler. So while we're debating whether he should continue to do it or not, let's make sure we see the results, and we keep seeing those results. I mean, think about where he played college at Alabama, right? Nick Saban is known as a defensive back guru in college. Look at some of the great defensive backs that have come out of that school since he's been there, and schools that he was at before there. And you know what's funny is, you know, Saban's pretty regimented. He's pretty strict. He's a molder of players. He's a teacher. But what did he do to Diggs at Alabama? He let him play. He did not try to rein him in. He did not try to change his game, which is weird because that's not Nick Saban's style at all. But when you look at what Nick Saban did with Trevon Diggs, he let him play. I guarantee you that was the advice to the Cowboys when they drafted him in the 2nd round last year. Just let him play. You're going to have to put up with a lot of BS. And, you know, the Cowboys saw that a little bit last season. And think about when you're looking at a game, when you're watching a game on TV, you don't really see the good plays that he makes necessarily, unless it's a pick or something like that. Because, you know, the game is, they're focused, the TV cameras are focused on the ball, where the ball is. So if they're not throwing to his side of the ball, or side of the field, because he's got good coverage, you're not going to see it. You're going to see when they do throw his way because the quarterback's throwing over there because he thinks he's got him beat. And sometimes he does. So we don't always see the good plays, the good coverage, unless, like I said, you're watching that all 22 film footage, which is really cool, by the way. If you can do that and you have any type of interest in learning more about the game, especially defense and offensive schemes, plays, position groups, and even individual players, how they react from play to play. That's a really cool thing. I don't remember how much it is, but it's really cool if you've got the time to sit down and do that for whatever team you're interested in. But yeah, Nick Saban did not rein in Trevon Diggs. The Cowboys are not going to rein in Trevon. You know what they're going to get if they try to rein in Trevon Diggs? You're going to have Byron Jones. All right? A guy who's really covers really well, but he's still getting burned. Trevon Diggs is still going to get burned if you try to rein him in, because that's just his game. That's how he plays. But you got to let him be a gambler. You've got to keep him loose. You've got to let him just play his game. And he's going to get burned sometimes. He's going to commit some penalties, and that's fine. You take the good with the bad with this guy, because trust me, there is way more good than there is bad for him. So, give him a chance. Let's get through this season, his second year in the league. Let's let him play his game. Dan Quinn loves him. Mike McCarthy loves him. The team loves him. All of his teammates love him. And let's see what he can get that interception total. Dude, if he doesn't get another interception the rest of the season, I think it's been a successful season for Trevon Diggs. Stats-wise, of course, if he keeps getting burned for 40-yard touchdowns every game, well, then we'll reevaluate that. But no, I don't see that happening. Nick Saban didn't micromanage his game, his play. The Cowboys aren't going to micromanage his play. They're going to let him do what he does best, and that's the way you coach Trevon Diggs, and that's how you let him play. If you guys want to go back and get a Byron Jones, feel free. I didn't think Byron Jones was bad. I thought he was pretty good. Think about the scheme that Byron Jones played in. I mean, good Lord, he played for Mike Nolan. But yeah, just let Byron Jones be Byron Jones. Let him, Trevon Diggs. Y'all got me on the freaking Byron Jones train here. Let Byron Jones play out there in Miami. Let Trevon Diggs be Trevon Diggs. Let him play here, and let him help us. Let him help us win a fan's ultimate goal, which is the same as the player's ultimate goal of a Super Bowl this February. I'm IndyCar Tim. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll do it all again tomorrow. We'll call this, it's not really ham for lunch. It's not really ham for dinner. We're just going to call it ham for a snack. We're going to call this a snack ham, I think. We'll be back with y'all either tonight or tomorrow with some more coverage of the Cowboys, college football, fantasy football, all that good stuff. Just check out the playlists here on the YouTube Fish Report channel. And, of course, on the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz podcast. Heard at DSP Media Online. Heard on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Pod, all that. You all know how to find these things. Just subscribe. If you're here on the video, make sure you like it. Leave me a good comment. I'd love to hear from you. We'll see you tomorrow.